Hi, my name is Sania Coley, and for this assignment, I will be presenting 5 psychology research articles related to my topic, which is anxiety and communication avoidance. For each article, I will be briefly explaining the study and what it focuses on, what I understood based on the abstracts, and any area I found confusing or challenging. Article number 1 is Anxiety and Uncertainty Management Theory. From my understanding, the study explains how anxiety and uncertainty influences how people communicate, especially in unfamiliar and intercultural situations. High level of anxiety can cause people to avoid communication altogether, while moderate levels can sometimes improve communication if managed properly. What stood out to me was how avoidance is described as a coping mechanism when anxiety feels overwhelming. One part I struggle with is how the theory applies differently across cultures, because that requires more background knowledge and intercultural communication. Article number 2 is titled The Role of Attachment Anxiety in the Avoidance of Communication, Mortality, and Relationship Qualities of Romantic Relationships Initiated Online. This article examines how attachment anxiety and attachment avoidance affects communication styles and relationship qualities, particularly in relationships beginning online. From the abstract, I understand that people with higher attachment anxiety or avoidance tend to communicate differently, often preferring certain communication methods like texting over face-to-face interaction. This study's helped me understand how emotional insecurities can lead to communication avoidance. What I found challenging was fully understanding how communication mortality was measured, because the abstract only briefly explains that part. Article 3 is titled Instructional Intervention for Reducing Situational Anxiety and Avoidance. For what I understood, this research tested whether teaching specific communication strategies could help people feel less anxious, therefore less avoidant in communication situations. I found this article interesting because it suggests that anxiety-related avoidance is something that can be improved through practice and intervention. What I struggled with distinguishing was between the differences in spatial anxiety and long-term anxiety, since the abstract mainly focuses on short-term communication settings. Article number 4 is titled, Do People with Elevated Social Anxiety Respond Differently to Digital versus Face-to-Face Communication? The study suggests that people with elevated social anxiety may prefer digital communication as a way to avoid discomfort of in-person interaction. This article clearly connects anxiety with communication avoidance in modern technology. One thing I found challenging was understanding how the research measures emotional responses across different communication settings. Our last article, article number 5, is titled Avoidance and Anxiety About Phone Calls in Young Adults. From this abstract, I understood that many young adults experience anxiety around phone calls and may avoid them in favor of texting or other forms of communication. This article is especially relatable and helps connect psychology research to everyday behaviors. Since this is a newer study, one thing I was unsure about was how generalized the findings are beyond young adults. In conclusion, overall, these articles help me understand how anxiety plays a major role in communication avoidance across different contexts, including relationships, digital communication, and everyday interaction. Although some of these concepts were challenging, this assignment helped me better recognize how anxiety influences communication behaviors and where further learning is needed. Thank you.